Alright, hello everybody and welcome to 3 Scary Stories. Not in the dark, of course. Sit back, relax, and listen to the scary. And no, this is not ASMR. I just wanted to try some stuff. I hope this will make do for me not uploading. When I woke up, I punched my neck to make sure I was still alive. My eyes tried to adjust to the dark, but it was useless. It was an eat your face kind of darkness. Pain ran from my shoulders through my lower back and down to my legs. All of my muscles felt like they were going to snap, like it was made out of porcelain. Humans weren't made to stand for this long. But in the closet, that's all I could do. There was no room to lie down. It all started when Mom got home from New Orleans. She walked in, still wearing a cheap-looking bridesmaid-to-be necklace. I laughed when I saw her. First of all, my aunt was like 45. Why was she having a full-blown bachelorette party? Second, that's the first time I messed up. Second, why didn't Mom get changed? She flew all the way home like that. I said something like, rough night? Then went back to playing Rocket League. She walked over and stood between me and the TV. She looked tired, but also kind of frantic. Her eyes were red, but not hungover red. She looked like she had been crying. I left the match and stood up to hug her. She flinched when I touched her. She pushed me back and asked if I could get some paper towels from the closet. I walked into the kitchen and she followed close behind. I turned back and asked her how the trip went, but she didn't answer. As soon as I went in the closet, she closed the door, then I heard the lock click. I thought it was some weird parenting tactic, something she learned while gossiping with other mothers over the weekend. My aunt always sent Mom these magazine articles that talked about tough love and parents not friends. But after a few minutes, she didn't open the door. I tried talking to her, but she didn't respond. I yelled, then screamed, then cried. Nothing. I kicked, I threatened, I apologized, I tried some more, but nothing worked. All she did was shuffle shuffled down around the house, moving things and calling people and yelling gibberish. The first day was the worst. It felt like I was drowning between the hunger and the paranoia and the dehydration. I thought my head was going to explode. Then once I had calmed down a bit, I started to listen more carefully to the phone calls Mom was making. The first one I could really understand was a pool supply company. For the record, we didn't have a pool. Our townhouse barely had a backyard. She asked the person if they had a list of all the household chemicals that could kill someone. I heard her pull out our crate from under the sink. She lied that she had a newborn. I wanted to know what she could lock up. By her responses, I could tell the person on the other end kept repeating, "This is a pool supply company," because then Mom would say, "I know this is a pool supply company. I know. But you must know a lot about chemicals, right?" she said. "Please just help me. I'm a new mom, please." I heard her sort through the plastic containers. She would grab something, then ask, "What about bleach?" And then a brief pause. She would say, "Great, thank you. Then I heard her pour the liquids into something else. That's when I started to feel sick. I had held everything in up to that point, but I couldn't anymore. My stomach was on fire. First, I pissed my pants. The warm, scratchy feeling made me more sick. I managed to get my jeans off before I sprayed shit into the corner. My throat ballooned to stop nose to stop from gagging, but it was useless. I turned to the other corner and coughed up bile. Sorry for my voice. It's hot in here. Eventually, beyond my control, I leaned back against the shit-covered shelves and closed my eyes. The sleep was short and chaotic. My dreams always ended with me falling down a flight of stairs. Then I would spring awake into my pitch-black, foul-smelling hell. Meanwhile, Mom kept making calls. She called a hospital 4 states away. Oh, hello? Ohio Trauma Center? She asked all about the different ways someone could die from blunt force trauma. What about hammers, remote controls, baseball bats, textbooks? She called a butcher. Which organs do you stab for a quick death? She called a construction firm. Could someone die from a 10-foot fall? What about 5? What height leads to paralysis? Hour after hour, day after day, I listened to her. The shit, piss, puke floor piled up. My limbs felt like broken pencils. Mom didn't even help killing me. I was already dying. By day, who knows when, I wrapped my fingers and prayed. I didn't ask for escape. I just asked why. Why was Mom doing this? Our last conversation had been cordial. It was the night before she flew home. I heard my aunt and her friends in the background, clearly drunk. Mom said they were going for a psychic for some last-minute New Orleans fun, and that she would be on the first flight home in the morning. She asked if I was enjoying my alone time and if I spent all the pizza money. It was my first time ever being home alone. Finally, at 13. Mom trusted me enough to be home by myself. All I wanted to do was make her proud. Guess I didn't. I must have done something bad enough to die. Just as I dozed off for the 1000th time in my standing grave, I heard Mom walk past. She was carrying something big and awkward, grunting as she tried to maneuver it. As she went by the door, she bumped the doorknob. Objects dropped, clinking and clanking. Tiny shadows danced in the light along the bottom of the door. Now was my chance. I bit down, ignoring horrible pains that shot through me. I reached through this shit-clogged opening and grabbed whatever I could. Mom screamed when she saw my hand. It was a deep, guttural sound like an animal before slaughter. I grabbed what I could before her foot stomped down, barely missing my fingers. I brought the objects into the fading light. When I brought the objects into the fading light, I took stock of my inventory. There was a toothbrush, toothpaste, a small comb, and a razor blade. I dropped everything but the razor blade. I felt the sharp edge run across my fingertips. I didn't feel pain. I felt hope. Alright. Ooh. I like that one. But, like, I loved it. Give me a minute. I was in my room, scrolling from my oldest bookshelf. I heard a creak from the back corner of my room. I felt a sudden pain in my arm. I started to spread my head to my feet. It started to spread to my head, from my head to my feet. I decided I should go to go to sleep, but the pain would not stop. I saw a white figure, and then I blacked out. That's the end of the story. Let's show some real life horror stories. Alright, here we go. I lived in the same house for over 12 years before I moved out. I guess 3.5 stories. I've lived in the same house for over 12 years before I moved out. It was an innocent vintage house that laid atop a hill. We had a maid that usually cleaned our house once a month. She was nice and we were close with her. We were quite surprised when she said she was quitting. We kept asking her why, but she wouldn't tell us. She wouldn't tell us, saying that she wasn't comfortable with telling us. Give me a minute. This does not sound like creepy music. I hate ads.
Immerse yourself in mixing, master, and the one day you're gonna look around and you're gonna realize that everybody loves you. Nobody can please anybody. That's not a real thing.
There we go. I lived in the same house for over 12 years before I moved. Oh, yeah. We had a maid that usually cleaned our house about once a month. She was nice and we were close with her. Hair. We were quite surprised when she said she was quitting. We kept asking her why, but she wouldn't tell us, saying that she wasn't comfortable with telling us. We were beyond confused. After lots of begging, she finally told us what made her want to quit. She said while she was cleaning the house, she saw a girl in a white dress with long black hair that covered her face. We all had dirty blonde hair, and we weren't home at the time she was cleaning the house. We were super freaked. Super freaked. That night when I was in bed, it suddenly got really cold. I hugged the nearest pillow next to me and prayed that it would keep me warm. In the morning I woke up, found a long black lock of hair in my bed. The pillow I was hugging on the opposite side of the room. The pillow I was hugging on was on the opposite side of the room. My siblings pranked me a lot, so I automatically assumed they were messing with me. So I ran downstairs into their rooms and told them that it wasn't funny. But they denied it, but I didn't believe them. That was until they told me they weren't home last night and just got back this morning. They were both at a sleepover with their friends. I knew my parents wouldn't do this, so I was immediately freaked out. Since that moment, everyone refused to sleep over, claiming that they would see a girl of the exact same description of our maid staring at them. I would keep waking up with strands of hair in my bed. It got so bad to the point where I started sleeping in my parents' room. We moved out now, but I soon found out that way back a serial killer lived in our house and buried his victims under his house. And that he preferred little girls. It still freaks me out to this day. Ooh, that gave me chills. I like that one. Ooh, you guys ready for some skinwalkers for the last one? When I was a little girl, 6, 7, I had a shelf on my wall that faced my bed. On this shelf were about 15 lined up Barbie dolls. Oh, 5 lined up Barbie dolls. I was about to say, that's a lot of fucking shit. I always felt their stare on me as I was trying to go to sleep, and I couldn't stop feeling as though someone was actually watching me. This feeling became so overwhelming that I started to ask my mom to turn the Barbie dolls' heads around so I couldn't see them. This worked for a bit until I woke up to the same intense feeling and watched as each individual Barbie's head moved to face me. I hid under the covers and woke up an hour later to them still facing me. Every night, I would ask my mom to turn their heads back around, only to wake up the next morning and see their eyes staring back at me. My parents passed it all off as me having a wild imagination / messing with them, and disregarded my concerns. After countless nights, I had finally decided to destroy the dolls. Even cutting up their hair and drawing on their faces causing me such fear. Little did I know that this would only make them angrier. It took form in many different items around my house, ranging from stuffed animals to porcelain trinkets. Growing up, I experienced many instances of these dolls turning toward me, but none as intense as this moment. Alright, thank you for listening. I wanted to try something new on the channel, and I hope you guys liked it. And I just want to let you guys know that I might do more of these. It all depends. Bye-bye.